Hey, what's up everyone? Alex here, back with another opening video. This is the 104th opening that I'd like to share with you, which is the Sand Snake opening. So let's quickly check out the Sand Snake opening. So it's basically a sub variation that you could use when you are starting the game off against a white diagonal player and you've decided to play Snake opening. A Sand Snake opening could be a potential variation that could be useful to kind of throw your opponent off with the early variation. So typically, you start off Snake with the F7 move right here, and if White plays the typical E3 response, what White usually expects is actually a D7 response over here. But instead of playing a D7, you play to a C6, which actually kickstart the Sand Snake opening. So the Sand Snake opening is probably useful in a sense that it throws your opponent off. Your opponent will be kind of like out of book. But from a kind of like conservative point of view, by forming this kind of continuous row of four discs over here, it's fairly simple for your opponent to derive the initial best moves, which could be at C7, D7, which is fairly straightforward in terms of just cutting out straight. Another one is to just keep to his side and play to G4 or G5 over here actually. So let's say if your opponent plays to C7, then black could just simply jump in, maintain the center shape, doesn't really matter. It's still a positive shape, maybe black, white, followed by black for a regroup. That could be possible as well. So if white were to play here instead and flip the same disc, then your options could be to just play to the edge, perhaps just try to keep to the bottom edge, because snake opening itself is a very edge play based or prone opening. So if white were to play, say, over here to kind of regroup to the top, then your potential moves could be like either one of these three, perhaps. Maybe to maintain the center shape, you could consider playing f4 over here, or if not, you could leave probably like a multiple tempo. You can try to take one followed by another one into the center if possible. But black white, maybe you will not be able to play this in the future. Black white, basically white removes this excess over here, so potentially taking it first could be better. And then of course over here, just playing to the edge. But just playing to the edge in a dispersive manner is usually not a great idea, because you allow your opponent to just easily centralize unless you're really in control of the tempo. So yeah, that's probably something to think about. So I think in terms of the sand snake opening, typically even for an opponent who doesn't really know the book, they will probably adopt the center cut and usually a vertical cut this way. Who is more more conservative in terms of responding to an opening that is out of book. So maybe you could play to the edge over here. Just keep it down to the edge. If he just jumps in, you can probably come down or even regroup to the center. Either one works. Yeah. So if white were to play here, again, you would probably cut across here. If white were to play here, you could consider this, or you could even consider this as a cutoff over here to potentially regroup. Maybe just this potentially as well. So yeah, that's essentially the sand snake opening for you. And basically you can study it. I would say that all snake variations or sub variations always leads to a very edge play prone game. So again, like the previous two episodes on opening videos, snake variations, you probably require a strong tempo or strong concept or basic fundamentals in terms of edge play and tempo exchanges along the edges. So thank you very much for joining me, and hopefully the sand snake opening works for you. So I think usually this is used by uh, Fukunaga Kohachi, perhaps. Yeah, just suddenly thought of this player, P-Faust Hachi, who is actually a 7-dan Japanese player. I think I've seen him play this one. So anyway, hopefully this proves to be an effective opening for you as a snake variation, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.